Please join us on our 2013 summer vacation to the Canyonlands of southeastern Utah and the San Juan Mountains of Colorado. We left Springville on July 29th and spent the first night camped on Boulder Mountain south of Torrey, Utah. Though we've been to this area many times in the past, we've never spent much time in Capitol Reef National Park. Hello! The Cathedral Valley Loop is a 60-mile stretch of dirt and gravel road that begins and ends with a ford of the Fremont River. The first portion of the loop is a geologic wonderland of color and rock formation. We came upon this old well drilling rig that was slowly sinking into the playa. These are hills of sticky bentonite clay, which rendered the road impassable in wet weather. The next two photos were taken on the way to Cathedral Valley. We had the Cathedral Valley campground all to ourselves that evening. The next pictures were taken in and around Cathedral Valley. Our Jeep provides scale for one of the numerous huge stone monoliths that are found in the valley. This one is known as the Temple of the Sun. After getting fuel and food in Hanksville, we headed up into the Henry Mountains, a longtime favorite of ours. Here, Jenny is relaxing in camp. The Henrys are home to one of only 3 remaining herds of free-roaming buffalo in North America. We saw the herd once, but it was many years ago. It was raining when we broke camp the next morning. The summit of Mount Ellen in the Henrys is 11,600 feet high. From the mountains, we moved on to the Maze District of Canyonlands National Park. That's a line of showers ahead of us. These beautiful orange dunes are located along Robert's Roost Road, a 46-mile road that leads into the maze. When we checked in at the isolated ranger station for a backcountry permit, we were told that we were the only ones in the district at the time. Here are some curious friends that we met along the way. We have visited the Maze District quite a few times over the years, but have never been to Panorama Point. Wow! We set up our camp right on the edge of the cliff, which was great for the views and for taking photographs. Here is Julia, drinking a glass of wine and preparing a delicious meal. While our camp was great for views and photos, it was not such an ideal location when the thunder and lightning moved in. We rode out several storms inside the Jeep and were later rewarded with some breathtaking scenery. The following morning, we were greeted by a gorgeous sunrise. This was truly life on the edge. Our backcountry Starbucks. getting ready to move on. The ranger had told us where to find these dinosaur tracks, which were embedded in a sandstone slab. After resupplying and spending the night in a Moab motel, we traveled down to the Needles district. At Squaw Flat, we were fortunate enough to get one of our all-time favorite campsites, number 13. Over the years, we have stayed in this one and the adjacent number 14 with many friends and family. Just seeing these campsites evokes a flood of pleasant memories for us. The next morning, we traversed the fabled Elephant Hill on our way to a remote camp at the Devil's Kitchen. It seems that the trail beyond Elephant Hill for the next 3 or 4 miles has degraded quite a bit and become quite formidable. A tight squeeze. Home for the night. The campsite is located below and behind that large boulder. We have always wanted to camp at Devil's Kitchen, but this is the first time that we were ever able to do it. The campsite is tucked in among giant boulders, and there's a view of the Needles right out your front door. The following photos were taken after an evening rainstorm passed through. This area is known as Chesler Park, and it takes you right into the heart of the Needles rock formations. Some Native American pictographs along the trail. The Jeep in the foreground belongs to John Emerson, a friend we made the night before when we were at the Devil's Kitchen. This is one of many signs warning people of the rough terrain and dangers they might encounter in this area. This vehicle belongs to Ed and Linda, who unfortunately became stuck in the backcountry. They had come down a hill, which you will see in a moment, and could not get back up. The other way out of the valley was also too difficult for them to traverse. We tried to get them out, but were afraid that the toll on their car would be too great. They stayed in the valley for another day or so until a tow company came and rescued them to the tune of $1,700. The next set of pictures capture John and I climbing the aforementioned hill known as Bobby's Hole. Go, John, go! This is a structure in an area known as Ruin Valley. The remains of many Native American structures may be found here, and it is an amazing place. We were going to show John around, however decided not to because of the gathering storm clouds on the horizon. That turned out to be a good decision, as the rains came soon, and the soil in this part of the world becomes extremely slick and sticky, making driving very difficult. After reporting the plight of Ed and Linda, our newfound friends who were stuck at the base of Bobby's Hole, it was time to return to Moab, clean the Jeep, resupply, have a nice dinner at the Moab Brewery, and move on to Colorado. After spending a night in Cortez, Colorado, we headed up into the San Juan Mountains to the mining town of Silverton. As you can tell, it was raining steadily that day. Today, Silverton is a hub for many different outdoor mountain activities. we spotted this unique four-wheel drive checker cab that was used to shuttle tourists around town. This is the famous Silverton-Durango narrow-gauge railroad train. And this was a colorful fence made of skis outside of a local restaurant. A few miles from Silverton, we turned off the highway onto the Ophir Pass Road. Much of the road is above timberline and provides spectacular and colorful mountain views. The top of the pass is at an elevation of 11,789 feet. Here we are descending into the small town of Ophir. This is a working powerhouse located high on a cliff above Telluride, Colorado. Due to the constant rain, we decided to return to the Canyonlands area. Along the way, near Dove Creek, Colorado, we came across this sunflower farm. Once back in Utah, we went directly to the third section of Canyonlands National Park, the Island in the Sky. This district is bounded on the west by the Green River, seen here, and on the east by the Colorado River. The two rivers converge at the southernmost point of the Island in the Sky. The White Rim Trail runs for about 100 miles along the edges of this district. In most places, the trail is 1,000 or more feet above the two rivers. About 40 miles into the trail, we spent the night at a place called Murphy's Hogback. This camp was considerably higher than most of the White Rim, hence the views were even better. Note Jenny having happy hour under the large rock overhang at the right. Views? Views? And more views. Sunset at Murphy's Hogback. This is our camp at sunrise the next day. The spire in the far distance is called Chimney Rock. We have camped near it in the past, and it's quite a sight. Leaving the Hogback. This is another typical White Rim Trail shot. Again, Chimney Rock as well as Lizard Rock in the background, many miles away. We watched this bighorn sheep for quite a while. Their acrobatics on these steep slopes always astound us. This is Musselman Arch. We have several group photos of family and friends taken standing on the arch from past trips. Jenny, however, was not interested in posing for a photo this time. Through a series of switchbacks, the Shafer Trail climbs rather abruptly from the White Rim Trail up to the uppermost canyon rim. Here is the view from atop the Shafer Trail. The last night of our trip, we camped at Horse Thief Campground, not too far from the top of the Shafer Trail. We barely got set up and began to eat when a series of thunderstorms made their way through the area. Because there was a great deal of lightning, we again sought refuge from the storms inside the Jeep. A brief break in the storms brought this sunset. After a blustery night in the tent, it was on the road again. Destination, Springville. We hope you've enjoyed our travelogue. Thanks for watching.